I'm Jake. I can't skate. And YouTube is a funny gig, man. My second most popular long form video ever is me calling Rogers Communications dicks for 15 minutes. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has watched and will continue to watch that video and everybody who engaged with it. I'm glad I could be a conduit for how a lot of people were feeling yesterday because none of us were very happy. I'm still not, and it came out later in the day that the Flames didn't even know this was gonna happen, and Rogers basically Baltimore colted uncovering Calgary sports teams. So I back off of none of what I said yesterday. But at the same time, I'm not usually the swear into the microphone dude. So, here's what we're gonna do today. With the dust somewhat settled, I want to talk about what yesterday's absolutely cowardly and brutal move by Rogers means for listening to our sports teams on the radio, getting local coverage, and the overall media landscape as it sits. Compared to yesterday, this will be a very calm, rational discussion. And one other point before I start. So, without further ado, welcome to the channel if you're new, and here's what yesterday's events mean for sports in Calgary. First and foremost, rightly, there was a lot of mourning yesterday, and we'll get into why that's warranted, but this does not mean the end of Flames radio broadcasts or any of the other teams in Calgary. By training camp, I am 100% certain that the Flames will have new radio broadcast partners for the Flames, Wranglers, and Hitmen. It is too important for traveling fans and for fans that don't reside in Calgary for there to be an over-the-air radio station. I expect this new radio partner will most likely be News Talk 770, as they've tried to acquire the rights before and already own the rights for the Calgary Stampeders Football Club. For any of you worried about the NHL's rights deal, that mainly applies to television hockey rights and whatever attachment Rogers did have to the Flames radio rights, they walked away from yesterday when they said they'd be no longer producing Calgary Flames games on the radio. So, Chorus, as far as I can tell, is completely clear to make a deal with CSEC to put the Flames back on the radio. So, I am not concerned about this being the end of Flames, Hitmen, or Wranglers radio coverage, because it won't be. I also expect large amounts of the familiar on-air radio talent to be picked up for the Flames broadcast on whoever their new radio partner is, for the game broadcasts themselves at least. I would expect we see some combination of Steinberg, Wills, and Mickelson in front of microphones for Flames games next season wherever on the radio dial that is. Unfortunately, that's also where we get into the flip side of this coin. 770 or whoever it is likely won't be taking everybody, will likely lose a lot of guys like the engineers and the back of house people because Chorus already employs those people. Additionally, not all of the on-air talent will be back. I imagine it will be the core cast from the game broadcast themselves, but I don't know how many of the other personalities would carry over. That is because, of course, it is highly unlikely that the Flames end up on a new all sports radio format. They will probably end up on either an FM radio station, on a news talk station like 770, or on some self-produced and syndicated Flames radio network. None of these will have the wall-to-wall coverage of local Calgary sports teams we've been used to for over 2 decades. Likely, there will be dedicated shows on whatever broadcast partner it is, like we already see with Sports Talk on 770. Likely, these will be more numerous as there will be more teams to cover, but it won't be all sports all the time. That era has probably passed us by for a while. In all probability, we see some of these guys also appear on Sportsnet television broadcasts. I still think that's a little bit awkward, given that these guys were just given their walking papers by Rogers. But if you want to stay in the game, you stay in the game where that's available. The Flames are actually going to be one of the most interesting teams to cover in the coming couple of seasons. Which is why I'm so grateful that I decided to sit in front of this mic and talk about the team. Now, that will be harder with probably fewer sources around the team to draw information from. But I can promise you this, I will do my absolute best to cover the team as well as I can, and I'm gonna keep working hard, as will all the other digital formats covering this team. Please, please, please support any creator covering this team. Barn Burner's still amazing with Boomer Retro and Bender. The Flames Nation guys always have lots of stuff going on. Pike is a great resource for what the team's doing. The Red Mile Rundown with Robert Munich is great. There's so many of them. Lists and lists were posted yesterday. There's lots of great content to support. Make sure you keep supporting it, including, of course, here on Jake Can't Skate. As Boomer said yesterday on Barn Burner, things are changing. It's never gonna be like it was, but there's always gonna be people who care about this city and who care about these teams. And as a sign off today, I'm going to give what I remember starting in my childhood as the Team 960. The send-off it deserved that Rogers never gave it. Next video's gonna be back to regularly scheduled off-season programming. There's lots to talk about with the Flames. There's lots to talk about with all these teams. I won't be talking about this issue again until news of a new radio partner is announced. Do all the YouTube things, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And happy trails, 960.
Happy